we are celebrating the 10th anniversary of the completion of this remarkable building and of all the extraordinary events that take place here and on campus as well. This morning we recognized our capital donors with the beautiful, permanent, beautiful, inspiring walls. And our building with the facade of Jerusalem stone, as Rabbi Chaim so wonderfully explained how we got to it, it stands out among all the buildings on Hillgard and on campus, of course. And for that reason, our second wall of recognition, equally beautiful and inspiring, is called the Jerusalem Stone Wall, in honor of our Jerusalem stone. And this wall still has room for many, many new donors now and in years to come. But as we all know, as beautiful as this facility is, it has little meaning independent of the role of Hillel in the encouragement of Jewish life on campus, equipping our students to meet their challenges in this environment and preparing them for a leadership role in our community. That is why we are so engaged in the important work of supporting this most valuable institution. Now, Chaim mentioned many people and introduced them. I also have a few to introduce or to recognize. Not all of our panelists are here, they're on the way, but I'm going to mention them anyway. Please hold your applause. There aren't that many, Fred. First, Mr. Eric Fingerhut, the president of CEO and president as CEO of Hillel International. It isn't just national anymore, it's international because we have Hillel associations, I think, on 5 continents. Dr. Deborah Lipstadt, Dorot, professor of modern Jewish and Holocaust studies at Emory University. Mr. Mark Udoff, the immediate president, past president of the University of California, and Professor David Myers, chair of the history department of UCLA. This is our distinguished panel, whom you will get further introductions of a little bit. We have Honorable Zev Yaroslavsky, our LA County supervisor, Tony Pritzker, co-chair of the Lay Steering Committee of UCLA Centennial Campaign, Georgina Rothenberg, whom you were introduced to before, the sculptor and designer of the beautiful Morris and Celia Kahn Aberman Jerusalem Stone Donor Wall. That's a long one. Andrew Kushner, executive vice president of the Jewish Federation of Greater LA, David Harris, campus activities coordinator of the Jewish Federation of Greater Los Angeles, Honorable Valerie Salkin, judge of the Superior Court, David Simon, chairman of the Board of Trustees of Hillel at UCLA, and of course Rabbi Chaim Seidler-Feller, and our wonderful new Rabbi Aaron Lerner, senior Jewish educator of Hillel. That's the Simcha and Sarah Leiner senior Jewish educator. And I also want to recognize our dedicated staff, the members of the Board of Directors and the Board of Trustees, and our international Hillel board members who are here, B. Mandel, Judy Udoff, Mark Leiner, and Helene Spiegel. Thank you. Just recognize all of you. Just a couple other things, and then I'll introduce Dorothy. I want to acknowledge now 2 couples whom you've already heard about, but we have a little something for them. The first, Barbara and Ed Prober for the Capital Donor Wall. Barbara and Ed, we present to you a beautiful paperweight. It's in a box, but I'll just show you. And it's beautifully inscribed. And it says, honoring the devotion of Barbara and Ed Prober, whose generosity to Hillel at UCLA helps to sustain a vibrant Jewish Bruin community. Given on January 12, 2014, the Barbara and Ed Prober Donor Wall. So if somebody... I will deliver this to you personally. And of course we have a second one. It looks the same. And this is to Dorothy and Avram Salkin for the Morris and Celia Kahn Aberman Jerusalem Stone Donor Wall. We also have a similar paperweight which reads, honoring the devotion of Dorothy and Avram Salkin, who lovingly dedicated the Morris and Celia Kahn Aberman Jerusalem Stone Donor Wall, and whose steadfast concern for Jewish peoplehood sustains Hillel at UCLA, given on January 12, 2014. Dorothy, why don't you come up here? I will bring these to your table. But I now want to turn the program over to Dorothy, who, as you have just heard from Chaim, along with Abe, her dear husband, is the driving force behind the Jerusalem Stone Wall. Dorothy, I couldn't give a better introduction than Rabbi Chaim did of you, but I'll just give a couple facts. She's a dedicated member of the Board of Directors of Hillel, as well as the Board of Trustees. She goes out of her way to meet and interact with the students, sits on many committees, and is always there when needed. She's worked in the Jewish community for many years and is currently an active member of the Board of Governors of Cedar Sinai and involved with Temple Beth Am, just to mention a few. But there is no doubt, at least to me, since this is where our two worlds met, that her passion is with Hillel and its wonderful students. Dorothy, the day is now yours. Thank you. Just let me get my glasses.
First, I know your salads are on your table, but I'd ask you to please, if you can, if you're starving, your stomach is growling, gesundheit, you should eat a little bit of the salad. But I would like you to wait until I do the motzi, if you possibly can. And as I say, if you need to eat the salad, go on ahead. Okay. My dream has become a reality because I've been dreaming of this day for a very long time. I'm talking years and years and years. I do want to thank some people first. Georgina Rothenberg first, my friend, creative, talented, unique designer. Her jewelry is wonderful too, besides her sculptures that you can see around the city in so many beautiful buildings, and now it's part of Hillel. Georgina, fantastic, phenomenal. My friend, Rabbi Chaim, where are you sitting? Oh, okay. My friend, the incomparable, totally incomparable Rabbi Chaim Seidler-Feller, our executive director. He helps us reach for the sky. I know he helps me reach for the sky. And when I get discouraged about something, I get a phone call that says, Dorothy, are you okay? Is it all right? Is everything okay? We'll make it all right. We'll do it. He calls me from the airport, even with those kind of things. Chaim, besides being a gifted teacher, a wonderful friend, you are a personal inspiration and role model for me, as well as the students and all of us who are active and love Hillel so much. And then there are people behind the scenes that you don't know that I work with almost every day. There is first Rachel Petru-Horwitz. You hear that wonderful name. Rachel, where are you? Rachel, who thinks of things, I mean, I'm pretty fast. Those of you who know me know that. Rachel's got it before I do. And when she gets an email that I've done to her at 2 o'clock in the morning, she calls me the next day. It's already done. You know, she's done it. And then there's Deanne Millay. Where's my Deanne Millay? Deanne Millay, unassuming, quiet, gentle, and boy, Hillel couldn't function without her. The rest of the staff is equally phenomenal. But Rachel and Deanne, without you, we couldn't do what we do. And I want to introduce my family. Some of you know them, many of you know them for the things that they have done and do in the community, and I want to introduce them to you. My soulmate, my best friend, the love of my life for 51 years, Avram Salkin. My daughter, our daughter, the Honorable Valerie Salkin. My son and daughter-in-law, Ken and Michal Salkin. My niece and nephew, who traveled here from Cincinnati, and of course, Anita is one of the grandchildren of Morris and Celia Kahn Aberman, my niece, and her husband, Hank Schneider. And my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, I should say our sister-in-law and brother-in-law, Sam and Charlotte Sam and Shar Salkin, who came from San Clemente for the day. And Adrian Salkin Cohen, our niece who came from Newport Coast. Adrian, where are you? There she is, and there she is. I want to take a few minutes, and it won't be long. I talk pretty fast, so I hope that you could follow with me as fast as I talk, to tell you what it means to me and to my family and why this name came apart. If you open your program, and I hope that you'll do it now as I'm speaking, and look at this remarkable picture from 1920 of my parents who came to this country just after the turn of the 20th century. When you have time, or while I'm talking, you know, be my guest, read about them on the back of it. I'm not going to go through all of that, obviously, but read about them and what they meant to me, to my brother and sister, to my children, to my grandchildren, and the great-grandchildren that I won't live to see, but will be here someday. And why the Jerusalem stone wall became such an important part of our, to me, important part of our life. We were blessed with parents who weren't wealthy, but I thought, and always thought, I was really very wealthy because I had love, I had support, I had caring in a way for the people that didn't have as much as we do, and most of all for the privilege of being a first-generation Jewish American. And I've always thought of myself as Jewish first and then an American second. But that came from my parents. And I always felt that it was my mission in life, in a sense, it was shared for me to be able to someday to do for the community and give to the community and ensure that there would be a Jewish tomorrow. Over the years, I've been involved in many organizations. I've been president of many organizations. But there is nothing like Hillel. And you know, the conclusion I reached, and I look at people like Tony Pritzker, who continues now to do so much for us as well as at UCLA, and we're so grateful for what he does. But whatever resources, whatever skills, whatever abilities I have, if I can convey that to students, and that's why, as Rabbi Chaim said, I love to meet with them. I love to go to the coffee bean and hang out with them and talk to them. And they want to know, well, how did you get to do the things that you did in your life? And I have to say, it's what you get from your parents, at least the magnificent parents that I had, that instilled in me that I would always have a Jewish neshama, a Jewish soul. I would always care about what happened to the Jewish people. I would always care about what happened to Israel, and that there would be an Israel. And of course, I grew up before there was an Israel. So I wanted for such a long time to do something that I felt was part of ensuring the Jewish future. And opportunities came along for Abe and I. Could we do this? Could we do that? No, it wasn't right. And I think, if I recall, Chaim, it was about 1906. Sarah Aftergood and you asked Abe and I to come and have lunch with you, and we had lunch with you. And you said to me, Dorothy, you were president of a large university, Hillel, at UC. And for those of you who don't know, UC to me is the University of Cincinnati. It's not the school up north. Okay. And I said, yeah. And he said, you know, it's time for you to we'd like you to be involved at Hillel. And I went, gee, you know, I've just been the president of 6,000 women at Beverly Hills at Oslo. I don't think I have time. And he said, well, come on over to Hillel. We'd like to, come over. And, you know, Chaim does a number on you, and then you can't say no. When Chaim does that, you have to say no. Anyway, to make a long story short, I did become involved in Hillel. I did become a member of the board of directors. I did become a member of the board of trustees, a dual role, which is a little bit unusual at Hillel. And then in 2007, we were Abram and I were the honorees at the magnificent dinner that was at the Beverly Hilton. And we've always said no to those kind of things, but it was for Hillel. And then it was like a light dawning, the light bulb. Of course, this is where we should do something to honor my parents. And I heard about this tile wall on the fence in the back where there were little tiles, and we contributed to put a little tile on the wall, and then the tile started breaking, and people weren't going. There wasn't a lot of foot traffic, I'll say, back there, and so we thought, well, why shouldn't there be an appropriate wall to recognize donors who help this building? The Capital Donor Wall is something else. Those are the amazing icons who built this building. But what about the people that are going to continue to contribute and are contributing? And so I said, I think we need to commission an artist. Come, Georgina Rothenberg. And Georgina designed the Jerusalem stone wall. And if you notice, and I hope you will when you go downstairs, you'll look at it. It's nothing like the major donor wall, because what Georgina did after taking photos and coming here, and she wanted something that captured the architectural integrity of the building, which of course it does. And the beautiful passages of Pirkei Avot, of Talmud, of Jewish philosophers, those are all listed, are not listed, but on individual, whatever you want to call them, stones, actually plaques. And we, of course, can happily remove some of the quotes. And anyone that wants to, Georgia is smiling, and anyone that wants to participate and contribute and have their name on that wall, we'd love to have it be there. My mom and dad were unassuming and modest. And my dream was to have a day that would be unlike anything that Hillel at UCLA had ever done. And what was the day supposed to be? Well, we would dedicate the major donor wall, which had never been done. We would dedicate the Jerusalem and stone wall in memory of my beloved parents. And we'd bring speakers to Hillel, academics, stellar, dynamic speakers, to talk about the future of Judaism. It's what Avram and I are about, Michal, Ken, Valerie. It's what we all are about. And we wanted the day to have a special invitation, which you all got. We wanted you to have pens that are in, of course, obviously, blue and yellow in honor of UCLA. We wanted the flowers to be blue and yellow. We wanted the day to be the day that Hillel at UCLA shines. And you know who we have to thank most of all for this day? The students, those wonderful students. Students that are in the room, a lot of you are here. I don't know where you're sitting. Could you just stand for a second? Just stand for a second. I know many of them. I know many of them personally. I will get to know the ones that I don't know yet personally. We will talk. We'll have coffee in the coffee bean. And they make this possible. They make this possible. So now, I'd like to say, and Ava, be proud, I didn't cry. I tried not to. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who has kept us in life, that we may reach this remarkable, amazing, and wonderful day. And now, please take a piece of bread. And they gave me a knife. And at our house, I learned long ago from Rabbi Moshe Tutnauer, it doesn't matter how formal a dinner you have, you do not cut the bread. You break the bread. So I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody by not using the knife, but I'm going to break a piece of this beautiful challah. Okay, and here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem bin ha'oretz. Enjoy your salads.